How's it going, everybody? Rye here today, and we are back with your Toledo Underdogs, gearing up for season number 4 in our Underdogs to Champions series. And guys, today is going to be a post commentary. Was feeling under the weather when I was doing this, so I just wanted to get the video out. Feeling better this morning, so here we go. Let's dive into it. Season number 4 lines look like this. We got Roseanne, McKenna, Martone, a lot of youth on this top 6. We still got Lambert at the 87, Zadina on the 86. The blue line looking a lot better than what it was in the past. No longer our Achilles heel. That is now goaltending, but hopefully a guy like Scott Rotzloff is able to come up eventually, maybe later this season. He will get a little run for us here. You'll see that a little bit later, but hopefully we are able to find ourselves a goaltender of the future. Our goaltenders are only at 2-year deals, right? This year and next year, so no reason that we are locked into anybody. And guys, I think we've got surprising depth on our top 9. Even our 4th line is not bad. Noah Ostlund is going to come up and make his debut. I know McKenna is the star of the show at an 83. We're hoping to see some really, really good growth from him. That 3rd line, guys, is surprisingly good for a team that isn't allowed to bring in anybody over an 80 overall. We've somehow managed to get quite a bit of depth. Now what we need to do is get that elite talent humming. Zadina was that. His contract is expiring, so we will be jumping into negotiations with him very, very shortly. But with McKenna, Martone, Lambert, Rosen, Kulik, there's a lot of youth on this roster, guys. And I'm hoping that this is the season that we take the jump forward. But now, let's go ahead and talk about the Filip Zadina contract extension. You can see there's a couple guys that need to be extended. Zadina, Lohrei, Johnson, Heinola, Kupari. Rotzloff does need an extension, so we are going to give him a contract extension. He's looking great already at just 22 years of age, 80 overall, basically. And he's loving the fact that I'm going to give him a 3-year, 2-way deal at $1 million. For the potential starting goaltender for next season, I think that is a tremendously good deal. And then Filip Zadina's contract ask was a bit shocking at first, considering he's 27, 86 overall, so clearly one of the better players we have, but he really didn't want anything but a 6-year deal. So I am going to give him 6x6. He will end up accepting this contract as well, guys. I think it's a fine deal. We have about $40 million in cap space next season. Really, the other guy to look at right now is Mason Lohrei. Watch how he does during the season, but the start of the season comes and goes, guys. We are 3-10-2. We're doing absolutely dreadful. The goals against at almost 4.3. The power play is horrible. And taking a look at the team, we've got -9s, -5s, -7s in 15 games. Martone, McKenna, I mean, they're doing their thing points-wise, but plus-minus Ryan Johnson, Kalen Addison, that pairing is not working, and that's not what we want to see. Ryan Johnson's in a contract here. He's an RFA, so we don't have to give him a contract. We could RFA him, but the two goaltenders, guys, this is why this episode has been on my mind about Scott Rotzloff, and can he come up and be the savior? As far as goals scored, we need more out of some of these guys. Brad Lambert cannot be the best goal scorer. He's a 2-way shutdown guy. Perfect second-line center, but we need Martone, we need McKenna, we need Kulik, we need these guys to start scoring goals, and well, another couple months goes by, and they don't. 10, 20, and 3 after our 3-10 and 2 start to the season. So really, I think it's 7, 10, and 1 over that next stretch. It's still not good enough. It's better, but the minuses just keep racking up, and the points aren't there to follow. Brad Lambert stopped his scoring ways. Martone, who I looked at as that #1 goal scorer, the power forward, and the goaltenders, guys, still just are not it for us here. Taking a look at the points, McKenna is doing his thing. He is leading the team in points, but it's not enough. Yuri Kulik, same thing. Lambert, Rosen. So the guys that we're hoping are doing well, they're doing only well enough, right? 20 points in 33 games is about a 65-point pace. We're going to need more than that. And taking a look at Rotzloff, down in the minors, 9-3-4, 910 save percentage, and a 274 goal against average. He is looking good. Consta Helenius as well, 80 overall, putting up a good amount of points, 26 points in 25 games. The playmaker has 14 goals on the season, a little bit extraordinarily high shooting percentage at 22%, but albeit the AHL is still producing talent for us. And honestly, guys, at this point in the season, 23rd or 29th in goals for, 32nd in goals against. The power play's 30th, the penalty kill's 26th. And I honestly believe that we are a more talented team than what we are putting on the ice right now. And I think it's time we make a move at the coaching staff. Solnishkin, right? Teaches veterans, a defensive-minded coach. Not it for us right now. And Darren, I'm sorry, his name is not Darren Sharp. I called him Darren Sharp when I was playing last night. No, Sharp, our backup, I guess, backup coach, our associate coach. Yeah, he looks better on everything except for special teams. And I think this team needs to be better at 5-on-5. So we are going to fire our coach, promote Sharp to the interim NHL head coach. And then let's take a look at who is out there. Obviously, Solnishkin, the #1 guy. Other than that, there's decent players or coaches available, but nobody that I absolutely must snatch up. So I think we're going to ride Sharp for the rest of the season. And honestly, the scheme fits are better with more offensive-minded guys. Obviously, the defense has been something we've had to worry about. Not everybody matches up. We haven't gotten good chemistry on the defense. And you can see balance shoot, hold the line and shoot, and balance shoot is just bad for us. Whereas Rudy Jackson here has got the pinch cycle. Same thing with Lucas Bradford. They've got the same strategies. It's all about who's got the better grades, and coach influence is big because we do want our coaching staff to develop as well. But for now, I think I'm just going to sign an associate coach, Damian Sharp. There's his name. There we go. 67% scheme fit, and you can see hold the line and cycle, and balance. That is beautiful for us. That is going to be able to give us a lot of flexibility on the blue line. We'll take a quick look at the lines now that we have a brand new head coach. And honestly, guys, there are greens all over the place. We can see we'll shuffle the lines a bit, just figuring it out. +2 now with McKenna on the top line, +3 with Lambert on the second line with Kulik and Rosen. It is looking great. That's exactly the top 6 we want. The third line, I mean, these guys are still 85s, 86s. They still look great. Michelli would be a great fit anywhere in the top 9. So I'm absolutely stoked that we were able to trade for him last trade deadline. And now, taking a look at the blue line, really what the change improved was this. We were able now to get a +1 for Chubarov, and basically on every line, Perek now gets a positive chemistry somewhere, which is fantastic. We traded for an elite defenseman. He's not developing the way I would have hoped, but honestly, guys, the chemistry is looking a lot better. It should improve the team performance and hopefully turn our season around. We do need to bring in an associate coach, so I will go ahead and do that because Sharp is the guy. You guys saw it right there, 74% team chemistry as far as lines. That is crazy. And we get further through the season, and we are 17, 26, and 4, which means our new head coach went 7, 6, and 1 over these first 14 games, and it's pulled us off the bottom of the Atlantic. The Detroit Red Wings have taken over there. And while I think the season might be a lost one, all we need to do is have good performances from our players to continue the growth. Guys, this was not going to be a quick rebuild. I know on my community tab, I had you guys answer a poll, short rebuild challenges. Well, this one isn't one of those, but they are coming. So if you guys want to vote on what you want to see on the channel, that is over there. Just a side note here. As you can see, our goals against have come down. Our goals for have come up. We're no longer rock bottom on the power play. Things are starting to look a little bit better, and taking a look at the points, plus minuses, well, they've gotten better for sure. They're not going to heal entirely, if you will. But Isaac Rosen looking great. I asked him to get 40 assists to get the third eye X Factor ability. He has 30 through 47, so that is what you want to see. Porter Martone here, I wanted him to get more goals, and I wanted to see if I could ask him to shoot more, because I think he shoots a good amount, but I wanted to get him an X Factor of Schneip, so he needed 30 goals on the season. He's about halfway there. He does need to pick it up just a little bit. He's on his way there, so hopefully we can get some X Factors, mask some of our chemistry deficiencies here and there, and really get this team performing at the high level we think it should. Yuri Kulik, I asked him to get 15 power play goals. I thought he could. It's only 15. He hasn't scored a single one through 47 games, so I think Yuri Kulik at this point is not going to get an X Factor. He is just going to be a dude who can play in our middle 6. But Brad Lambert got the quick draw ability thanks to the face-off wins for us this season, so that is good to see that our shutdown two-way center is going to be a good face-off man. And then Gavin McKenna, I need him to get 40 assists to get that third eye. He needs to pick up the assists just a bit. He was off to a very hot start at the beginning of the season, but now only 19 assists through 47. He's close. He's on pace for it. And the goaltending, well, the goaltending really hasn't improved. And I know they had terrible stats to start the season, but these two guys just they're improving ever so slightly, and it's just not it, guys. The goaltenders, something we definitely want to reassess next season. You can see Damian Sharp here. We'll take a look at his record. It is 7-6-1. I did the math in my head, and I remember that from last night. So 53.6%. I believe that's point percentage. I'd absolutely take that. He didn't have a good time in Philly. I don't know why Philly was such a bad team, and, obviously one of the mysteries of this save. But 53.6%. I don't know if we're going to be there come the end of the season. Actually, I can tell you we're not. But as we move along here, guys, season is kind of away from us, so we will move on from Lohrei. The Toronto Maple Leafs are offering us a second and a third. I do end up going with their first. We do have to give up a third, a fourth, and then a seventh next year. We've got multiple picks, so we do stock up on a second first-round pick, as it may not be a high first-round pick, but it at least is something. And here we go, another month gone, 21, 32, and 6. So again, really, really bad. You can see we're still down there at the bottom of the Atlantic at 48 points, battling with the Red Wings. But the games look closer. If you look at the schedule, the games are they're just tighter. And I think the team is starting to play more like I thought they could. We'll take a look at Damian Sharp's record with the team, just because I want to see, did that make much of an impact? 48.1%, 11, 12, and 3. I will take that, right? I will take above 500, I believe, as far as points percentage. And that would have been where I would have hoped we would have been for the entire season. DePenta was another coach that was fired, a forwards coach. Looking pretty good, though, as a coach. Taking a look at the chemistry, it doesn't look like he's going to fit the roster, though, with the pinch shoot. Hold the line and cycle is more what we fit with. Balance cycle. We need cycle and not shoot. I believe Perrick is a shoot defender, but I think cycle is what we're going to want as a team. And obviously the chemistry is looking good. If Damian Sharp can grow, pinch cycle, hold the line cycle. Everybody is cycle or balanced. It makes no sense to go with any other kind of coach. Now, into the trade deadline, guys. We are going to make one trade. And Owen Tippett, he's making $6.2 million over 5 years. He's down to a 78. He is furious. He's fed up with his time. He is a cast-off. And you guys can see, looking at any other player in this range, there's not many others that I believe could jump up to be a producer for us right away. So let's go ahead, go to the Philadelphia Flyers and see what they are going to ask for a guy like Owen Tippett. You can see they are selling off Michkov, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know why they would do that. Maybe he's going to be a free agent. But Owen Tippett, and there's a lot of trade offers. 5 offers found. You'll see the one that I get stuck on here, and I think it's a slam dunk trade. I think absolutely Dvorak, a second, and a next year's third. I think that makes too much sense for us at this stage of our team. The Edmonton Oilers want Heinola, who also needs a contract extension. We already got rid of Lohrei, so I do want to bring back Heinola. He did hold on to his 83. Lohrei did drop significantly in overall. He went down to like a 79. But this trade, for a guy like Owen Tippett, we don't get many opportunities to bring in a guy that could be a top 6 winger for us. Obviously, his stats are depressed because he is depressed. So let's get him out of Philadelphia, where they can't even win more than we can. Oh my God. 18, 40, and 5. That is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, Montreal's going to try and interrupt our trade here, but I think they patched this, guys. I really do think they patched it. I was super happy when this stayed between 2 offers. But Dvorak, a second and a third for Owen Tippett. I think it's a good bit of business. And here you go. You can see he's actually up to an 86. So that's 78 overall we acquired, turned into an 86. Second line forward, elite. He's got wheels and beauty backhand. You can see he's a great goal scorer, which is something I said we needed. He's got tremendous speed. You can see that they weren't even playing him. He hasn't played a single game in the 27-28 season. I'm not sure why they wouldn't use a guy like this, but he is a shooter. You can see when they give him good ice time, that was like second, maybe even third line ice time, second line with power play, right? He's taking 246, 280 shots, something like that. I was hoping there was an opportunity for me to welcome him to the team, but oh well. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Just wanted to pop in, show my face, Owen. I'm super happy about this. 5 years, 6.2, no clauses. And there we go. There are the lines, guys. We're moving Rosen down. He's had a great season, so I'm hoping he grows. And the defensive pairings, at this point, I'm looking more at growth, getting guys ice time, getting guys to perform and to produce. So Zane Perrick here with Chubarov does get a +1, which is awesome. And then Ryan Johnson with Jack Thompson gets us a +2. But as on the forward, you can see it's Owen Tippett now with McKenna and Martone as our top guys. And at this point, it's post-trade deadline. Scott Ratzloff's up to an 80. He is looking fantastic. And we're just going to call him up. We're going to bring him up. What harm could it do to the NHL team at this point? We're already one of the bottom teams. And I want to see, is it Ratzloff? Is it the goaltending? Or is it the team and the coaching that needs to be better? So we are going to call up Ratzloff, Greaves, and Tarasov. They would have to clear waivers. We do need to send somebody down. So we are going to send down Rathbone here in just a second. If I can freaking figure out how to navigate these menus. But there we go. Rathbone gets sent down. Ratzloff is going to be a starter. Konsta Helenius does get called up here as well, guys. I didn't show you that. I didn't put that in the recording. But we are going to call up Konsta Helenius. You can see there he is. He's gained morale because of ice time and good performance. 28, 36, and 9. And you can see the month of March was a lot better. We got 4 wins. We went 4-1-1 in the 6 games out of the deadline. We picked up then 2 additional points. So what is that? 4, 1, and 3 out of the deadline. I mean, that is where we wanted to be. We then do regress a little bit. I mean, an 8-2 win over the good Wild, a good Toronto team that we were able to beat with Lorai. And then you can see the shootout loss there and the overtime loss. We picked up 2 points against decent teams. The Red Wings aren't good. They're worse than us. But then we do go on a 3-game skid. Follow it up, though, with 2 wins against Vegas, who is a very bad team, by the way, and the Dallas Stars. So really, guys, the month of March was a really good month. I feel like we've got a solid core. Maybe we need to find a new coach. I'm willing to trust Damian Sharp. But jumping ahead to the end of the season, we are going to finish it out with a 4-0 shutout win over the Ottawa Senators. Scott Ratzloff had a phenomenal time up in the NHL. He played, I think, 12 or 13 games. Didn't obviously get a ton of wins. Taking a look here, Ratzloff, just super pumped to see him sign. We're spending nothing on goaltending, right? And if he continues to produce like he did in this 13-game sample size, I know it's small, it's the end of the season, things can change, but he's playing behind the team that we expect to be using next season. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, guys, the pace that everybody was on was about 60-point pace. And we did end up finishing there. Isaac Rosen does hit his 40 assists, so we should see him get the third eye X Factor ability. Yuri Kulik puts in 26 goals. Martone didn't really have the season I would have hoped. I was hoping for, I think, 10 more goals out of him. He does only get 20. Hopefully next season he's a bit better at that. Taking a look at the forwards, you can see Lambert, Zadina still leading the way. Martone. I mean, the stats on this guy look insane. It's just about what's going to unlock him. Yuri Kulik, I mean, 55 points. I can't scoff at that. I know he said he's just going to be a guy in the middle 6, but 55 points, 26 goals. I will take that from just a guy. Isaac Rosen is an absolute stud at playmaking, so I need to find him a sniper to go with. Gavin McKenna absolutely fits the top line incredibly well. And he's now up to an 85, 53 points. I mean, this is a career best. It's his second season. I'm hoping to see him get into the high 80s, maybe low 90s next season. Third line did well. Ostlund did great in his rookie season, 19 points. Owen Tippett in 17 in 22 for us, 8 goals, only shot 9.8%. So I can expect, I think, a bit more out of him. His takeaway to give ratio is fine. He throws the body around. He's exactly the kind of sniper that I would have hoped to put on a line with our playmaker in McKenna and our power forward in Martone. Rasmus Kupari was playing on the 4th line. Nolan Foote, I think his time here is done. And then Konsta Helenius, 9 points through 28 games, a -5. Not too shabby for the young rookie. He still has so much room to grow. The defensive category does need to improve, like, let's be honest. But offensively, he can still produce. And I think that's what we need at this point, is to just outscore our problems, because that's going to help us grow. Gustav Chubarov, 88. Guys, we got a stud. 20-year-old, 88, two-way defenseman that looks like that. Are you kidding me? We just need some X factors now, and he's going to be an absolute superstar. Addison and Perrick get 20 points. Ryan Johnson's overall did drop off significantly. He did not have a great season. Wasn't the worst season. It did improve in the second half. And then Hinola, obviously, we have to re-sign him at an 83. Jack Thompson, 4 points, +6. That's kind of crazy. And then here are the goaltenders, guys. You can see Scott Ratzloff. I mean, the other two did improve their numbers down the stretch. We got better when we got Owen Tippett. But Scott Ratzloff, That's the kind of goaltending performance I need. So he's going to be our starter next year. 5-5-2, but he did get a shutout against the Senators at the end of the season. But 907, 276 for this kind of player at just 22 years old. I think our future's looking pretty bright here, guys. And I don't know. I'm going to ask you guys in the comment section, do you think I should keep the coach we have, Damian Sharp? He's done okay, right? He was just a bit under 500, I think, maybe above 500 in points percentage. But should we keep him around? Should he be the guy, or do we demote him and find ourselves a better potential coach in free agency? And I do send Scott Ratzloff down. He's upset about it, but the goaltending issue is one that looks like it should be getting solved here very shortly with Lincoln Gardner down there in the AHL. He got all the games. Well, Ratzloff was up here in the NHL. We can still take a look at the coaching staff now that the playoffs are here, so we can still fire our coach or hire a coach if we wanted to. And here are the couple guys available. Strimbu was another guy that got fired and now is a free agent coach. The coach influence isn't great. The teaching isn't great. A generalist. It doesn't look great. I don't really like those chemistries. I think Damian Sharp might just be the guy, and we hope he grows with the team. Or maybe some coaches have their contracts expire. I mean, the balanced chemistry fit, it doesn't feel right to me. I mean, like the percentage, sure, but it just doesn't feel right with what he's got. So maybe DePenta, but he doesn't really fit the defense. We've got Sharp. We got Tuzolino. Damian Sharp, I think, was a really, really good coach for us. He's got good numbers. He just needs to improve on the power play. Guys, that is all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all, but what we fall. This a free for all, but what we fall.